Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
NTX Radio, formerly Joco Community Radio, which is a proud member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective, proudly serving all of North Texas. We are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Download it for free. Check out our lineup and more at ntxradio.com. We want to thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of North Texas. With that being said, we are so excited to be back this Friday. We've got a wonderful lineup. Can't wait to dig in a little bit. But before we get started, let's bow our head for a quick word of prayer. Father God, thank you so much for the privilege to be here this Friday to reach out and connect with our job-seeking community, to hopefully bring wisdom and knowledge to positively impact their job searches. And I just pray that you would open up amazing doors for each individual that is looking to either land their next opportunity or transition in their career. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, Father, before Foster, before we jump into any announcements, Father, he is the job father after all.
That's me.
Do you have a dad joke that you want to kick us off with?
Yeah, I do. And thanks for that prayer, Dana. That was absolutely wonderful. Okay. Are you guys
Absolutely.
are you guys ready to laugh?
Oh, we're ready.
So a pirate walks into a bar with paper. He's got paper towels wrapped around his head. And everybody's like, dude, what are you what are you thinking? And he goes, "Arr, I've got a I've got oh my god, I'm trying to get the joke right. I've got a bounty on my head."
That's actually cute. That's a good dad
You know,
joke.
that one wasn't bad, was it? That's gonna
No,
start our show off.
I was trying to think. I knew it was going to start with R, but I was like,
Arr.
paper towel, duh, bounty.
I had to get my R right. So,
R.
Dana, I've got a couple of jobs that I want to share as well. Guys, the Job Father, this show is here to give you guys good information when you're in your job search. And we're
Awesome.
excited today because we got Ron Leighton with us. And Ron Ron, you were an HP guy, weren't you, back in your traditional career search
I
and
did. I
or
worked
search?
for HP for 7 years. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And now we're going to hear all about the practice interview team, guys. And that is a wonderful title for that service because, I mean, my God, listen to it, practice interview. If you guys have a wonderful job that you're all excited about, because you know how hard job search is in today's time. And if you find the job that you know you're a good fit for, you guys get excited and you want to step off on the right foot. You want to interview well so you can get that job, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Ron's going to be telling us about that, you guys. After I share the couple of jobs that I have for you guys.
And I have one too.
Oh, good, Dana. Yeah, we're gonna throw something at you guys. So, guys, over at the Hope Center over in Plano, there is a company called Marketplace Chaplains, and
Mm.
they are looking for a .NET developer, a person that has experience with Azure DevOps and .NET, of course. And So this is a need that is going right now. You guys can contact me, Foster.Williams at sbcglobal.net. I am trying to help those folks get that job done. And then, guys, on another note, again, that is Marketplace Chaplains over in the Hope Center over in Plano. So I'm going to share another job with you guys, and it is it's one with my brain is not working this morning.
Mine isn't either. I'm tired.
I'm gonna okay. Let me pull it up here. Then I'll straighten it out here with you guys. Okay. It is a. What is going on with my computer? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna go from memory, and that's scary. So there's a company over at the DFW airport, guys. You've heard of it. It's the company that puts the food on the planes. Dana, do you remember the name of that company?
Sky Chefs.
There's a couple big caterers that
Sky
do that.
Chefs.
Sky
Oh my
Chefs.
God.
Okay. Yeah.
Look,
That's a big one. They
look at
work.
the
They
way
work
I'm
with
looking
the
this morning.
major
Oh my God.
airlines.
Yeah. Sky Chefs is looking for a person, an HR person that's done labor relations, guys. So we're looking for someone that is in labor relations. Now, both of these positions are posted on search the number 4, the letter UINC.com. They're wonderful positions. You can contact me, Foster.Williams at sbcglobal.net to talk if you want to talk about either of these positions in detail and with more time than we got this morning on the radio. And Marketplace Chaplains and Sky Chefs, LSG Sky Chefs, you guys. So, okay, I've messed it all up this morning already. So that's what I got. Let's go to Dana.
Awesome. Thanks, Foster. So, Beacon Oral Specialists, our corporate headquarters is located here in Dallas, literally at the corner of 635 and 75.
Oh, okay.
And we have a full time, exciting opportunity available for an RCM analyst, revenue cycle management analyst, that has experience with extensive analyst experience with revenue cycle management in the healthcare space. So if you or anyone you know might be interested in evaluating this exciting opportunity, you can reach me at dgingerich at beaconoralspecialist.com. And I'm going to put that in the chat. Do we have Mez today, by the way, Foster?
Mez's internet is down.
Okay, no problem. I've noticed, weird enough, my internet usually works fabulous at my house. I've noticed it's a little slow this morning when I'm using my ATS software. So I don't know what internet she has, but it could be something going on around here. So, but I am putting this in the chat, and maybe Tiffany can post it for us. We are so grateful for Tiffany.
Absolutely.
And I just want to encourage our job seekers to take a look at. I worked for 10 years at Caris Life Sciences, great organization.
Oh, yeah.
They
that's
hire a lot of like medical billing, accounts receivable, revenue cycle management type roles, if that's something you'd be interested in. They also tend to hire a lot of different sales positions in different parts of the United States. Those types of roles are usually posted regularly on their website, carislifesciences.com. So I encourage everybody to take a look at that. You might find some great gems on there.
Caris is a good company. I used to talk to you all the time when you worked over there before you left Caris.
Yeah,
Caris
it's a
is
great
good
company.
Our buddy Delane works at Caris. That's right.
Hi, Batman!
Hey, hey, Delane. So, okay, guys, I want to reintroduce you guys to Ron Leighton. There he is right there with that pretty shirt on. And Ron is the facilitator of our practice interview team. So let's talk to Ron a little bit about that practice interview team. Tell us a little what's going on there, Ron. How does it work? All of that stuff.
All right. So we call ourselves the PIT crew. That stands for practice interview team.
Yes.
So we really are our mission. Let's start out with our mission. Our mission is to get you across the transition finish line as fast as you can. And we accomplish that with two goals. We get my fingers so you can see them. Two goals. The first goal is we want to increase your confidence in the interviews. Too many people, when they get at that door, they think I'm not ready. I'm not worthy. But we want to increase your confidence. And number two, we want to make sure you know how to differentiate yourself from the next person. So that when you get in there, you're saying the right things, which gets your resume moved from this stack to this stack over here, and you get asked for another interview or you get offered the job.
Right.
So those are our two goals. But the other thing to remember is, in addition to giving you practice interviews, one of the things that differentiates us when you go look at anywhere in the United States is we give you about a 40-minute panel interview with 2 or 3 coaches, and then we're going to give you directly after that 20 to 25 minutes of direct feedback. We're going to tell you what you did excellent, what you did good, what you need some help on. And the thing that I don't like to talk about, but it's incumbent upon us, is sometimes people have what's called showstopper behaviors, which means they say something which the interviewers just say, it's over. And sometimes people don't realize this, and it's incumbent upon us to help you understand if that's happening. Very rarely, but we want to give you direct feedback from that perspective. Okay, so that's kind of what the PIT crew is about.
May I ask something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is amazing that you are bringing this up, and that showstopper behavior. Can you share with us, either right when you finish, because I interrupted, what you were saying, or if you'd like to jump in right now, what are some of those top showstopper behaviors that you observe that you have to coach and counsel on?
A top showstopper behavior, let's say we ask you about a recent conflict and how you resolved it. And you say something like, this person made me mad, so I made sure that I got that person back. Okay. Something like that, which shows you're not a team player. Or when we ask you, what have you learned through your biggest problem? And you talk about, I learned that other people have issues that sometimes it's incumbent upon me to overcome, and make sure that they really understand how bad they are. So it's a behavior that shows you're not a team player, or that you may think that you have more rights than others. Those are kind of examples of showstopper behaviors.
And this may have come up, Ron. I don't know in some of you guys talking with people, but this is a showstopper with me when I was hiring people. I am a hiring manager, and you guys won't believe this, but some people take their cell phones, and the cell phone will ring, and they'll say, "Hold on just a second, my kid's calling."
Oh,
That, guys, can be a showstopper. Now, not with everybody, but it can be a showstopper. You guys probably having a hard time believing, Foster, somebody would do that in the interview. Guys, you would be
yeah, they do.
surprised at what
Yeah.
happens at some of the interviews. So, Ron, what do you think about something like that?
I would completely agree with you. Anytime someone doesn't turn their phone off or keep it away, it shows how much attention you're going to pay to the job and how
Right.
bifurcated your attention may be. One of the other things is not necessarily a showstopper, but pretty close. We have people come in, with their notebooks, and they say, "Hey, I've got my notes in here. I've got some questions. Can I do it?" And then we find that they're constantly looking down, and it appears they're reading answers that are off of that. So we want you to come in prepared. That's what we as hiring managers expect you to be.
Yeah.
You know yourself better than anybody else, and you're selling, right? You're
Right.
selling yourself as a product. Make sure you know yourself, and don't let us kind of find you fudging, or, another bad word is cheating, by looking at canned answers you've got. Now, we always recommend people come in with questions, but you can tell people, look, I've got 10 questions I prepared right here, and I just want to let you know that's what it is. On the other side, I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
So be careful with that one.
Would
Hey,
you
Ron.
say that another obvious behavior that can be a showstopper? This is something I've observed, but I'm just interested into what you've observed. Is when people come in with kind of an automatic chip on their shoulders, and their style of communication and their attitude reflects that. It to me,
Oh, yeah.
that's a big showstopper, because what goes across my mind is I'm picturing either myself working with this individual, or the hiring leader that I'm hiring for working with this individual. And if they come in with an attitude or a chip on their shoulder, I have a hard time thinking that they're going to be collaborative, team player, and get along well with others.
That is very correct. One of the questions you often get is, why do you leave your last job? And people need to understand,
Oh, yeah.
you get no positive points for that. That is a completely negative point question. Your job is to get through that very quick, very, very quick, and then say, and that leads me to why I'm here today with you, looking at this fabulous opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you say something of, my boss really pissed me off and I just quit, that's a no-show, okay?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they wanted me to work 45 hours a week. That's kind of a showstopper.
Yeah.
So those
Man.
those are some examples of exactly what you talk about. You can see, it's sitting right there, and it just comes out, bleeds through the interview. That is indeed the attitude shows a lot sometimes.
Yeah, it really
Hey,
does.
Ron, can people from other states participate in the practice interview team?
Prior to COVID, we met completely in person.
Right.
When I took over in August of 2022, we were doing about 75% Zoom, 25% in person. We have transitioned to every week we meet in person, except for the fourth Wednesday of the month. We do one Zoom interview. So we didn't want to completely cut Zoom off, because there's a lot of people out there that learned about the pit curve.
Right.
But we only do one per month. So it's incumbent upon people to try to get on the schedule as early as possible. And I do try to reserve that one spot for somebody that's not in the DFW area.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
talk
to
about it
hear
all
that.
the time.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm in
even
North Carolina and New York and Atlanta and Phoenix, and I'm telling everybody about the pit crew. So I wanted to
So
ask you
since I
about
have this opportunity,
that. Hmm.
I am blessed by God not to work for a paycheck anymore. That's why I'm the
Yep,
leader of the pit crew.
you and me
It's
both.
this
Yeah.
is the mission that He's given me at this time in my life. However, we're finding that we're booking all three candidates in a given week, 3 to 5 weeks out. So I would love if there's anybody listening out there that's not in the DFW area that kind of has this on their heart to help people do job transition. I'm looking
Mhm.
for somebody to take over a Zoom kind of forum of this that could have more Zooms that we could teach how to do the structure and everything. So I'm looking for a full time, someone that could do it at least full to half time. If someone finds that this is on their heart or comes to one of our meetings and understands, what we're about.
I'm glad that you are offering the Zoom. I will say this, like for example, what we tend to do for a lot of our roles that are not entry level, so mid-level to executive level, is we'll do a couple Zoom calls, one or two Zoom interviews, or we use Microsoft Teams
Okay.
first, so video conference, and then the finalists come in for in-person
Sure.
interviews. And I think that's pretty common. So I think it's very valuable or worthwhile
Oh
that your
yeah, yeah.
team absolutely provides that type of training as well. Because while the style of communication and a lot of the um, tools are the same, it is a little different when you're on the screen, and there's some best practices for that.
And anybody can come to any of our meetings, whether or not those meetings are in person or Zoom. You can observe the interviews. When we're on Zoom, we just black everybody's video out and mute them, and it's only the panelist and the candidate. But at the end, people get an opportunity to make comments, and the candidate gets a chance to hear, what other people thought, and the learning experience extends to that external observation audience.
Oh, it's great.
That's awesome. Hey, Ron, what the people that are interviewing, who's on the team? I know personally because I've been associated with you guys for such a long time. I know that we have very senior level people that have hired VP level people, if you will, that people that have hired, directed, like myself, directed whole
Hmm.
departments, hired people in that sort of thing. Those people are involved on the team. And while I'm saying that, Ron, right next to you is my homegirl, Audra Wilkes, right there. And she would be willing, I just saw in the chat, Audra
Mhm.
would be willing to talk to you a little bit about what you just talked about. That is it's awesome. I love this
That's
networking stuff.
awesome.
Excellent.
Excuse me. Yep.
So what we do is all of our people, whether they're panelists or myself, are volunteers.
Mhm.
We look for panelists who have been a hiring manager, but number
Uh-huh.
two, we also look for panelists who have had to terminate someone. So we want people that are on the panel to understand what it feels like to be on the other side of that table.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So those
Yeah.
are the two things that I look for in a panelist. Anybody that has meets those criteria can volunteer to be a panelist. We have interviewed everybody from CEOs. We interview a lot of CMOs, chief marketing officers, a lot of
Mm.
COOs, all the way down to literally people just getting out of college. And we have even people that are in college that their mothers, believe it or not, their mothers hear about us and tell this person, go practice with a practice interview team before you graduate so that you're ready to enter that job market
Oh,
to
yeah.
help of everybody else.
That's a
I think
great
it's great.
service.
Yeah. I think it's great you bring up that it's for all people interviewing, whether they're newer grads, mid-career, executive level. That is,
Executive level, yeah.
yeah, that's phenomenal. And I also am excited about the fact that you do have panelists that have experience interviewing. And I can tell you, one of the things that I think helped me early on um, with interviews was my senior year in college. You had to take this class that was like a pass or fail. It wasn't really for a grade, but it was to prep you for the workforce. And they did interviews and resumes. And I happened to be taking at the same time, like a at the time they called it personnel development, but like your workforce development. And in that, you had to interview one of the people that were in that pass or fail senior class. And I happened to be in both at the same time. And it was incredible, not only being interviewed, but doing the interviews. A light went off for me. And I just recommend to anyone, if you have a chance to just find a friend and practice interviewing them and start asking them questions on a job that y'all pick out, you're going to start seeing things from a design thinking standpoint, where you're going to see what it's like to be on the other side of the table, and how someone's responses can come across very differently, and how you perceive it when you're not the one actually interviewing, but when you're not the one being interviewed, but actually interviewing. So that was like a light bulb moment for me.
That's why we highly encourage people to come observe, even if they're not sitting in the candidate seat, because you can just learn so much.
Yes.
It's like one of the tips that we give people is, what are other names for interviews? We say interrogation, inquisition, right? Because that's what people think about it. However, our job is to help you to learn how to turn that thought process into, you're going to go in and you're going to create a conversation.
Right.
How do you create that conversation? By being prepared to ask questions and understanding you have a right to ask questions during the interview. Because too many people think that they don't. An interview is two ways. They're interviewing to find their right candidate, and you're interviewing them to find, is it the right job and the right culture and the right fit for you?
Absolutely.
So you have that right. And that's one thing we really stress is you need to ask questions during the interview. Because if you wait to the end and you ask your question, they give you an answer, you can't do nothing with that information. It's over.
Ron, I'm glad you said that. That's one of the number one things that I'm talking to people about interviewing is you should, in that interview, it should be a conversation, and you should have questions due to what you're talking about that job, because you got experience. We've already determined that you got experience that the company's looking for, or we wouldn't be talking to you. So think about those questions. Most of my questions in the interview, when I was interviewing, came during that interview.
We tell people you need to come in with a minimum of 10 questions physically written down, because interviews are stressful. You need to write them down. And as you're practicing those questions and your star stories of how you're going to answer questions, try to figure out, can I attach one of my questions to a star story? So you get used to asking those questions as you're giving your answers.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense.
What I get excited about, and Ron, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there have been very senior level individuals that have used this service. And I want you senior executives to know this is a good idea for you guys, because senior executive search is a little bit different. It takes a little bit longer a lot of times, and it should. It should. You're going to hire leaders. Come on now. So I want you senior leaders to know you should be a part of this. On both sides, on the servant side, and take it for yourself. Hey, you guys got an interview coming up. Let's practice for that thing. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like the way Dana started this with a prayer, because one of the things that I tell people is I had the fortunate or unfortunate experience of being unemployed almost 3 years. But I have a testimony to that. I knew God took me and set me aside for a period of that. And I like to tell, I like to share with people how I use that in my relationship with Jesus Christ to prevent myself from being really depressed during that 3-year period. And
that's amazing.
I offer people that experience, because I do know what it feels like.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that, because there is a testimony behind it for me as well. I went through a period of, I went through a layoff last year, and I had a period of time last year where I was in between jobs.
Ooh, it was a
and
struggle.
It was scary. The market was it was much worse than it is now. I would say that the market has improved for jobs tremendously. I think regardless of the political climate, the further we get away from COVID, the more organizations are kind of recalibrating and getting back to something that's of a little more normalcy.
Oh, listen to
But
what I'm listening to, Dana.
we can talk about it more later.
We're going to break, you guys. See you in a second.
See you in a second.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Welcome back, Jobfather Nation, to the second half of our show. We had a wonderful first half. And just a reminder, the Jobfather is proud to be part of the NTX radio lineup, formerly Joco Community Radio. And we are a member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective proudly serving all of North Texas. We are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Just download it for free. Check out our lineup and more at ntxradio.com. Well, with that being said, we had a wonderful, super informative first half. Foster, before we jump into the second half, do you have a second half dad joke, or are we moving into the second half?
You do. So, we do. And guys, I want to explain to you what Dana just said. Whatever she said was true. But outside, all over the United States, this radio show serves all job seekers. And you know what? Even globally, because Dana and I have connected with some people in other countries. So y'all keep listening. If you're not asleep, wherever you are in the world, if you're not asleep, join in with us. Okay.
Absolutely.
So Dana and
Yes.
Audra and Ron, why did the little baby jalapeno, why was he shivering?
Shivering?
Yeah, why was he shivering, little baby jalapeno?
I don't know.
Because he was a little chilly.
Oh, dang it! I was like trying to go through my head. I didn't get it. That was cute as well. A little
that's
chilly.
cute. He's a little chilly. I'm
A little
surprised that
chilly.
you guys didn't jump in on that one. That's
I
good.
know.
I see my buddy Gene Clay is with us. Gene and I
Gene.
are, and you know what, Gene? I wanted to tell you, and Delon, if you're out there, chime in and say, hey, Gene is the guy that I'm talking about that is also a Steelers fan. Now, my buddy Delon's dad is Mean Joe Green, guys. And I hang out with Delon, and me and Gene are Steelers fans. And hey, that's the way it is. We love the Cowboys, guys. Don't get me wrong. Don't throw apples at me because I'm a Steelers fan, but I am a Steelers fan.
Little shady, Foster.
Little
Little
shady.
shady.
And I've got my UCLA shirt on because college football is upcoming. We are in the month where college football starts, so I'm excited. I'm going to be bringing those stories up a lot of times on this show. Okay, Audra is right down there. My buddy Audra Wilkes. She is in Waco, Texas, and y'all know I'm from Waco. That's my home girl. That's right. But Audra is an extremely talented HR professional. So, you know what? We're going to talk to Audra because she's in the job search. And you folks out in Nashville, Tennessee, that I invited, you guys, I want you to listen to Audra because she is open to moving to Nashville, Tennessee. So, oh my God, I guess that means that she'll be a Tennessee Titan fan. I don't know. You guys might force her to not be a Cowboy fan. But okay. Hey, Audra, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's great
Good.
to be on the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were going to have a dad joke for the second half, so I did kind of prepare one for you.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
You can use this, Dana. Dana, you're going to be really disappointed in this, but
oh no.
I do have of course, my background is in HR and as well as accounting and some other things, which we'll go over.
So the joke's going to be appropriate. That's cool.
But the joke's going to be a little bit appropriate. So why was the math book sad?
Because the numbers didn't add up? No.
you teachers that are listening ought to know this one. Okay, bring it to us, Audra.
Because he had too many problems.
Wow.
Oh, no. That is so good, though. That was cute. I like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that was a good one.
You know, it ties right into what we're talking about today. And that is, how do you bring humor and joy and everything into the workplace, and how do you bring it to your team? And that's kind of what I'm all about. So bad dad joke, but you know, still appropriate.
I loved it.
You companies see Audra, you see that personality that I was talking about. You want to bring Audra on your team to especially in HR, to be an HR leader, because HR encompasses a lot of things. We got a big umbrella in HR. So go ahead, Audra, tell us a little bit about what you're looking for. What is a good place for you to plug into a company?
Yes.
Well, you know, first of all, let me go back to our first half of the show where we were talking, Ron, you were talking about those things that you definitely don't want to say, or, you know, I have been accused of interviewing my my company at a level that they were not prepared for. And they always say, gosh, I didn't know that we were the ones being interviewed. And I said, well, of course you're being interviewed because we want to make sure this is a mutual fit, you know?
Yeah.
The cultural fit is so important to me. And it's what I've hired for, being on the other side of the table, you know? This is a new thing for me. I've not been on this side of the table before. And I've always had more than one job versus, you know, not having a job. So I think that cultural fit's really important. You spend a lot of time with people and you want to make sure that you can align with them from a project perspective, where the company is growing or where they're wanting to grow. And then you've also got to be able to empower, of course, your skills and such. But let's have fun while we do it. We spend a lot of time with these people, either virtually or not. They are in our day-to-day life. And how do we maintain that positivity? And so those are really some of my strengths, is being able to not only specialize in developing people at improving processes along the way, whether it's implementing service level agreements, standard operating procedures. People use RACI models sometimes. I've done that. But because my background is in HR, accounting, and sales, on the operations side, I'm able to bridge the gap for organizations, because I can really step in and be empathetic on what challenges some people might be seeing as detrimental. I just look at them as opportunities. How do we grow and improve from that? And so, and I do that by strategically aligning with the company's core values and also leading with trust-based leadership. Those are really key components for me to be able to help others and grow them along the way. So I'm looking for an opportunity where I can embrace all of that. My resume will speak for itself in a variety of things, right? But if you can't pivot from here's the opportunity and what are the KPIs and what are the metrics we might need to be able to add into that, those are so important. And a lot of people have a struggle because they're what's in it for me. They're looking at it from a very siloed perspective. From an HR perspective, it's like, okay, well, how do we get the performance reviews done? How do we get managers to engage? Well, you have to be able to understand what those managers are going through. And if you can't do that, how are you supposed to help collectively the rest of the FTEs on the team when maybe their managers are the ones that need the help first? And so that's something that I really bring to the table.
Oh, that's amazing. What types of titles? So when you're thinking about the types of roles in terms of titles, what types of roles are you open to? And are there certain industries that you would be open to or excited about?
You know, one of the great things in my background, I've really been industry agnostic. I've worked in nonprofit, I've worked in for-profit, I've worked in heavy lift equipment. I've looked in service-oriented organizations. I've been a business owner myself, so I really can understand and appreciate what people need to go through. So from an industry perspective, I really am agnostic in that. I've worked in some healthcare industries, so it really helps with that. Titles, you know, here's the thing. Pay me for what my skill set is. Sometimes I don't really care what you call me, you know, because different organizations have different structures, but really being able to be a seat at the table in a VP, you know, CHRO role to really help drive the organizational awareness and that strategic alignment, but not ever afraid to roll up my sleeves and jump in with both feet to really get to the root, because that's how you're going to be able to make that change management happen.
Wow, I shouldn't say this, but Audra, you're well-rounded. Y'all, I'm not trying to be like that, but
I mean, you are. Audra, you've got a great background.
She does. So, Audra, I have a question. Your last engagement, what industry was your last engagement in, and how long were you there?
It was heavy lift equipment, which was a new industry for me. I was with them for 9 years. And built a center of excellence that really, when I departed, I was really proud of.
That's
so
amazing.
You companies out there that are, as we say, male dominated, Audra can handle y'all. Ain't no problem.
Audra's awesome.
I grew up with a brother and all of his friends, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audra, when you think back to your previous roles, and you think about like your reviews and the people you worked with, what were some of the positive things that you heard in your reviews and your leaders share with you that set you apart from other candidates in the market?
Oh, yeah, good question.
So great question. And I've also had 360s done on myself where people say, well, what is a 360? I say, well, it's basically where you lay down on the boardroom table and they kind of lay you open and they tell you everything good, bad, or indifferent, right?
But my goodness. That's funny.
You have to be willing to hear it. And if you really want to morph into a better leader, you've got to be able to take that information at face value for improving yourself. And so that's really one of the strengths that I've had, is the ability to listen to, some people would call it constructive criticisms. Some people would call it, trust-based leadership. I think that that's really important. But along the way, not forgetting that we are all here to do a job. And if you don't have those deliverables, I don't care how nice you are. I
Yeah.
don't care how collaborative you can be. All of those things
Mhm.
have been positive feedbacks that I've had over the years. But being able to hit the target either on schedule or above, ahead of time, those are really key components. And everybody will tell you I'm passionate. I'm passionate about a lot of things. I'm passionate about
Understatement.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
love the passion though.
yeah, but those are my strengths. And being able to, like I said, being able to understand what's going through somebody else's mind on the other side of the table, and not
Yeah.
just coming into, well, we need to do it this way. You know what? In HR, in accounting, it doesn't matter, business, nonprofit, for profit, there's humans. People are people. And yes, you can add in AI and
Yeah.
you can add in all these positive things, but you still need to care for your people, because if you're not caring for your people appropriately, your organization will never grow.
No, they're
revenue.
going to leave you. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
right.
So Audra, when you're looking,
Go,
when you're
Ron.
looking out there at all these companies that are available, what are your top 2 or 3 things that you're looking for fit or culture that's going to say, I'm probably going to align with this company?
So, having those passions, having trust, being able to act responsibly, and having fun along the way, being able to grow others and truly invest in people. Those are key components for long-term success.
Thank you.
You know what I'd like to, an observation, and I'm not just saying this because Audra's my buddy. Guys, let me tell you something. Dana and I always talk about, what's our word, Dana?
Relationship.
See there? Now, I'm gonna tell you guys something. Audra has been in that male dominated world because she is able to build relationships. She's able to understand where companies are trying to go. Now, companies of any department of any company that needs to align with the company values, that they tell everybody this is our values and we take care of our employees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
HR and HR leaders are the ones that need to be doing that probably more than anybody out there, because HR leaders are going to be the ones that are going to teach the other departments, if they need teaching, in these ways to communicate and build relationships. And that's what I like about Audra's ability to be an HR leader at a company. Audra would be an awesome VP of HR. She's at that level, very
Absolutely.
senior level HR business partner. I like the business partner idea anyway. But Audra, am I being accurate in what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. I think that what you have to be careful to do is to not make assumptions, right? So your
Yeah.
C-suite, if you think that your C-suite has everything down perfectly, and right, and
Sorry.
and that's the thing. The C-suites that I have worked with, Dana, you're just sitting there laughing, but the C-suites,
Dana and I've been there.
and what do we do in that C-suite space? We embrace other people's strengths as a strong leader. Don't be intimidated that you have, we shouldn't have all the answers as people. We should have strong people that can provide us with those answers. And that's what's really important. And that's important, the C-suite all the way to the person that is Dana, to your point where you were talking about, doing those mock interviews when you're first getting into the workplace. The faster you can learn that everybody puts their pants on the same way, the better off you'll be. You're less intimidated and you're more collaborative.
So true.
And what many people don't understand is when you walk in for an interview, that receptionist that you're there talking to, a lot of
Has
times
all the power.
they can make or break you.
That's
right
right.
there. Pay
Yeah.
attention to everybody and treat everybody with respect.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Guys, I know we're going through a lot in job search. We're going through a lot in the world. But what we're talking about right now, guys, take that attitude that we're talking about with you into these interviews.
So important.
You're going to interview, if you interview with an Audra Wilkes, is her last name, guys, Wilkes. I forgot to say that in the beginning. Audra Wilkes, you companies that are listening, if we don't take that attitude with us, those people don't have time to be dealing with us. Why in the world am I going to bring another problem into a situation where I need help as a company? I'm
Exactly.
speaking as a company. If you don't fit in, what you doing here, or what are you doing here?
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah. I think that often we are intimidated by the people sitting on the other side of the table. And when that happens, we forget our focus of what we're trying to accomplish. I'm not
That's so
looking for a
true.
position that's just going to put some money in my pocketbook. I'm
Right.
looking to be part of an organization that I can make strategical alignments with, but also help that organization to grow. And the way you grow that organization and that bottom line is by investing in their people. And
That's it.
Absolutely.
whether they're receptionists, whether they're engineers, whether they're C-suites, being able to help break down the barriers of that siloed thinking is very important. And that's, Foster, to your point, probably was one of my greatest joys in my last organization, because I was really handed a hot mess and they said, see what you can do with
I can
it.
imagine.
Wow.
And working in multi-state environments, multi-organizational components, I supported over 50 locations with my team, not just me personally,
Not
right?
just you, yeah.
We built a team from scratch to make that happen. We were in 23 different states. Compliance is a huge issue. Having done HR in multiple states, in addition to California and some New York and other litigious states, it's really important to not just have those partnerships and collaborations, but to really know what you're talking about, and really protect the organization, but also protect the people within the organization.
That's got to happen.
Yes.
That's got to happen, guys. I say a lot of things that I shouldn't say, but I'm going to say this. New York and Los Angeles, California tend to be a little bit more litigious. And I like that word that you use.
Very true.
And HR folks, you have to know what it is that you need to do to serve in those environments.
That's right. Don't lead in fear. Lead in trust and collaboration and knowledge.
That's right. That's right. And I'm glad that's my big word for today is litigious. I like that. Don't ask me how to spell it, but I can say it.
Spell it. IT, right?
IT. IT.
Love
that's
it.
a good point. That's
how you spell it. You spell
That's
it
right.
by spelling it IT. No, I'm really excited about the opportunity to relocate to the Nashville area. Of course, I'm very open to remote and hybrid roles. I did that in my last organization for years. I would, drive 3 to 4 hours every single week and stay 1 or 2 nights and be in the offices 2 to 3 days because of what we were, looking to accomplish. So I'm fortunate enough that none of that concerns me from a stamina perspective or from an ability to grow and make positive changes along the way. So
that's great.
Yeah.
I think I would like to, just listening to you, Audra, if I were a manufacturing company, I would consider strongly, because there's a lot of HR needs, a lot of HR leadership, proper HR leadership that needs to go in these companies that are a little bit more blue collar facing. We've got some huge companies in the United States that are manufacturers, that are distribution and things like that. And Audra is, I think, a wonderful consideration for an HR top leadership role in your companies. I don't know. That's just my observation. I've been recruiting for a long time. What do I know? I'm the Jobfather.
I do have backgrounds in manufacturing as well. And to your point, Foster, again, one of the things is even from an operations perspective, right? Because sometimes that HR role is not thought to be as important as some of the other roles in the organization. But when you are a strong leader and have that HR background, like I do with my SPHR, my SHRM SCP, you can bring that to the ops side. You can bring it to a shared service side. You can bring it, and what you end up doing is you end up elevating the awareness to the organization so that they can become healthier down the road by placing an importance in those HR roles as well.
Audra, what is your email address? What's the best way for us to contact you?
So it's my first and last name at yahoo.com. So it's AUDRAWILKES, like Sam, at yahoo.com.
Perfect. I want you companies to come. You know what I like? I like to be the Jobfather. I like to introduce people and suggest that you guys have conversations. I think that a lot of companies out here should, and especially some of the companies around Dallas-Fort Worth that I know of, because I've helped a lot of people get jobs in those companies. I suggest that you call Audra and have a conversation. You may not have an opening for a senior level HR person, but I think a conversation with Audra might help you understand some things that you do need. Just saying.
Yeah.
Now, Audra, I have a question. Are you familiar with North Texas Lead, LEAD?
I am not.
Go and check out that website. This is perfect for you. It is North Texas LEAD. And let me see if I can get that right. Dana will probably remember to help me if I did. Leaders and Executives Advocating Diversity. Now, we know that diversity, it started out as it still is a diversity type of company, but check that website out and know, guys, that the definition for diversity is constantly changing. When North Texas Lead first started years and years ago, when I first came associated with them, that diversity component was looking different. But now they have expanded quite a bit because of who we are as a country, if you will. But check out North Texas Lead, LEAD.com. Now, Audra, the person to connect with there, if you have any questions, would be a lady named Sonia Scott, SONYA, I believe. Dana, did I get that right? Did I get that right, Dana? SONYA?
I don't know if I'm familiar with Sonia, so I don't want to.
She's been on the show, but Dana wasn't with us. Dana was on travel.
And
Sonia
I don't know.
On the show.
It's just the spelling of the name that I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. There's this great thing called Google.
There you go. And Audra, I'm connected, of course, to the owner.
Yeah, I'll find it.
The company is Gina Bivens, and she's GYNA BIVENS. She is on the city council for the city of Fort Worth. And
awesome.
She has had a lot of exposure because of North Texas Lead. It is an awesome program. So I'm not just talking to Audra, you guys. I'm talking to job seekers. We've got job seekers all over DFW, all over the United States that need to connect with North Texas Lead. You guys will be surprised what's there.
No, that's great information. Thank you so much for that, Foster. And thank you for being able to be on the show today and connecting with not just the North Texas, but the Nashville markets and other markets around. There's so many positions that are remote or hybrid opportunities. And thankfully, that's a world that I'm used to living in. So whether that role is in Pennsylvania or New York or whatever the case may be, it doesn't bother me to hop on a plane or jump in a car. So that's just the world that I've lived in for 9 years.
Right.
So.
And Audra and I want to give a shout out to Michael Castleberry, who is out there already in Tennessee. I'm hearing music, Dana.
I do too.
We'll see you guys next Friday.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, Ron.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you